V8s. The name conjures up things of America, freedom, and lots of talk. But you know, the Americans aren't the only ones to make V8s. Sure, I mean, it's kind of synonymous with America, but sometimes the Europeans do it. So today we're going to answer the age-old question, who does the V8 better? Then I'm going to break out my sim rig and we're going to try them out. The swap actually shouldn't be too hard. This is a default thing in the common folder, so we just gotta grab basically a line of code that says that and stick it into the bollard and make it all line up. We're gonna have to do a few little adapty thingies, but we'll get to that. First, we're gonna make this and give it a name. I'm thinking like American bollard. Then we're gonna grab the engine part, completely gut everything except for this one here, but we don't actually need anything beyond slots, so we're gonna gut this as well, duplicate this line. Then we have to find out what the Gavril engine is called. Not too hard. We got a common folder, which means we don't need to copy any sort of DAE or material files or all that sort of stuff. It's all in here default. Apparently, the Gavril full size has a different engine. So the question is, do I go with the full size engine or do I go with the one out of the truck? I mean, I kind of want to go with the actual full size engine because it is, I mean, a little less of a truck engine. No loss, all we have to do is grab these, stick these in here and put in full size engine. By default, I think we're gonna go with, oh, I don't actually know. I think the 5.5. Grab this name and plop that in there. Now we have a few little changes in here. Apparently this wants to be a little bit down. We're also gonna change this on the Y to be actually a positive number. And how do we do this? The engine in this thing is right up front. So the engine there needs to be further back. We're gonna need to add like 2 meters? Let's go like 1.5 for now. The only thing we can do is really try it out. So we got rear subframe, rear engine, no change. I have to hit Control L because we've created a new folder and the game doesn't know to find it yet. Then if we go into the rear subframe, look in the engine, we got the Gavril engine adapter. Nice. And stock engine mounts, the Gavril engine. Engine is in kind of the wrong place at the moment. And it also doesn't know to grab fuel. It's because these will grab from main tank, and unfortunately the bollard doesn't have a main tank. The bollard itself uses actually 2 side-by-side tanks. As you can see here, it's actually 2 tanks. And then we just paste that over there, and hey presto. Now if we hit Control R, hopefully we got fuel. And straight off, I mean, I know the engine is kind of in the wrong place, but for now, let's see what our engine is like. Oh, we've also got the pulley issue. We could deal with that. Oh, no transmission. Okay, yeah, that's an issue as well. What I've got here is an engine saying, hey, this engine wants to have the slot type this transmission. Unfortunately, that transmission has not been dragged in yet, and I don't want to do that in any way, so I'm going to instead tell it to use the bollard transmission. Basically, this transaxle here is going to take place of their transmission. We're also going to use a node offset to set this to node offset 0, because I'm using an offset already to tell the vehicle to move the engine around. I don't want to move the transaxle, so the transaxle stays where it is. Then if I refresh, will it just put the transmission in? Hey, look at that! It moves! That's fantastic. It's already working. Now, I don't know if this is already a mod that somebody's made. It would be silly that somebody hasn't made it. I just wanted to make it myself because I liked the idea. Yeah, this thing is a bit slow. Oh, it's struggling to push. I'm guessing we don't have as much power as the default vehicle. Slow down. There we go. Yeah, that's only 239 horsepower compared to from 263 up to, say, like a normal road version, 400. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of tuning to be done. For now, though, we're gonna move this engine just a bit further back. Hopefully it even fits. To be honest, I don't know. That's why we come back to here. It was moved 1.5. Apparently 2 meters was closer. And, okay, well that was too far. But it's also like getting really close already. Yeah, as you can see, like we're playing with millimeters of gap. The next thing is to get the height aligned. Now, the middle of the transmission should be at the main journal bearings of the crankshaft, which means it should line up to about here, which means this engine wants to be really high. At the moment, it's already very high, and if I go any higher, it's going to collide, but I kind of feel that this needs to be realistic on where it wants to actually sit. So, what if we just change U to 0? What happens? It goes way too high. So instead, let's just start finagling again. And that looks pretty darn close about there, at least close enough. And this, you would have to, like, in real life, edit that a little bit. But to save on time today, we're just not going to do that part. The engine itself, though, it's looking pretty alright in there. It's like it was meant to be. I wonder if the 6.9 liter is too big. It's exactly the same model, but still kind of shy on power. But now that we got like a really tall engine, and a lot more torque than any of the other engine bits had, what is it like to drive? It is a lot more beastly, but that RPM to speed rating, not great. I think we're gonna have to put some sort of like adapter in to get more speed, because maxing out, what was it, 130 something? That is not great. This is kilometers an hour, by the way. So there we go, that's 100 miles per hour. What? How is that there's gotta be some sort of gear ratio reduction thingy happening here, unfortunately. I mean, I don't think I know of any sort of gear reduction change. Oh, we have gear ratio selectors. All right, let's try, I don't know, a 2.9, is it smaller? I think smaller is to go faster. I think that'll actually fix our issue immediately, but we'll actually see before we go do any sort of wacky adaptation. Yeah, okay, we've already got our speed back up. That's fantastic. All right, problem solved. I was gonna be doing like the most jank stuff in the world, but we have kind of fixed it, except for the fact we're still not going fast enough. We can actually just make an extra diff ratio. It'll be fine. At the moment, that's not great. Grab one of the final drive bits of code from the bolide, drop that in our adapter section, may as well just keep it all in one area. Gonna grab that and plop that in there. Then change our diff ratio to the 273, and I feel like we may even want to go a little bit longer, because this thing can really go very fast compared to pretty much anything else. And immediately we're already looking like we're gonna go over 200 kilometers an hour, which is, yeah, the bare minimum you'd expect for a supercar. And, oh, you know what? It's kinda struggling a bit. We may even want to go a slightly longer one than this. Yep, okay, and we are actually reaching our top speed in, like, not even a full race spec, just kind of a basic bolide. So let's go like a 2.4, I reckon. I'm gonna guess that this thing will not reach quite 200 miles per hour, which is a pretty ridiculous number. For 200 miles per hour, that is 320 kilometers an hour. Yeah, so I think we're going downhill a little bit, and we're now going about the speed that we were topping out before, and we're only going a little bit more. I don't think we have to worry quite too much. 250. Is their like little revving engine that much of a benefit? I suppose the next thing we have to do is try the handling out. 280, oh, sorry, 260. Ah, oh dear. Well, we almost reach 180 miles per hour. That hurt. The next step is to make the exhaust match up. At the moment, the exhaust just kind of reaches to about there, and we want it to line up to the old exhaust, which is kind of missing. The bolide engine has, oh, no exhaust? Would it be a part of the intake since that's usually where the exhaust is? Okay, then we have headers. Okay, is headers in here? Yes, we have headers. So let's grab you, but also, no, we don't want to grab you because that's also got, this is what we want. Grab you, then under their headers, which aren't even here apparently. I was going to put it there, but it seems that we can't. So let's go ahead, plop you there, and this should now also have the exhaust as an option. Exhaust, good. Let's go like a stock exhaust. And would you look at that? We don't have the exhaust on. Oh, I'm an idiot. So we use the node offset on the engine, which applies it to every slot underneath. So I have to re-put in the node offset to 0. Grab some node offset code and plop it in there. Now with a little Control R reset, would you look at that? It's in place. And now it won't line up. But you know... it's good enough. I wonder, I have a sneaking suspicion. What if we change the header to bollard header? Then under exhaust manifold, we put on the race exhaust manifold. I've broken the game. It's literally caused it to crash. You can see that it's paused due to instability. Let's try instead just grabbing the flex body. They all share it apparently from the 4.5. So let's go there, paste you in there, save that. Then we're gonna refresh and unpause. So now we have, it doesn't like where the exhaust manifold is? Yeah. That seems about right. And wouldn't you know it, with a quick refresh, our engine has its manifold back. Except, yeah, they don't fit. Luckily, we can also move it on the Z-axis. Wait, we already moved this 0.07? So let's try moving that also 0.07, but in the other direction. Let's undo that and instead put it over on the Z part, because I'm an idiot. Much better, look at that. I mean, it's not perfectly lined up, but you know, it's getting pretty darn close. Now, if I was to move this manifold to fit into the right place, this would all be out of whack. Near enough, people aren't going to be paying that much attention, and if they do, screw you, man. Go easy on me. I'm trying to make 2 videos of this a week. It's so much cooler though, gotta say. Having like the exhaust and everything line up, I know that we still have the pulleys out here. We'll deal with them in a minute. You don't have to worry about that. This is just doing pretty alright. The last thing to do, apart from like moving those pulleys, is go see how it handles. I could just get rid of the pulleys. I mean, it's not like we need them. Oh, the intake is around here. That's a problem. If I get rid of the intake, it's gonna move this. I suppose we could just always have a supercharger on only. Intake, we have a sport intake. That is still the same thing. Race intake is the same thing, except with a pod filter on it. That's been known to give 1 million horsepower. Or just a supercharger, which I think is gonna be, god damn it, still too big. And it still has this popping through. Are you kidding me? A standing start, 1 hot lap. And finally, after so many tries, we have done a 3:05, and I feel that was an okay time for my skill level. But now the big engines. Currently this has the 3.9, and we're gonna stick in just my kinda, you know what, actually hold on, I saved this setup, didn't I? Yeah, the 325 horsepower. So this has similar horsepower, but a lot more torque. And immediately sounds a lot beefier. I hope that this has the right drive ratio in here. We're already in 4th and we're not even going that fast. I may have to check that out in a bit. We're not getting anywhere near the red line. I'm used to watching the red line go all the way out to red. Yeah, I feel that we don't have the right diff ratio in. Yep, I stuffed that up. Let's go to the adjustable, and then we're gonna turn this to like a 2. I'm thinking like a 2.5-ish, maybe? Is the big, heavy V8 better than the small engine. So the real... Oh. We're not able to accelerate in top gear, are we? That's unfortunate. We might have to do something about that. Oh, dear. And braking. The question is there really an advantage to over-tuning a small engine to get large amounts of power? So I can't actually read the dials from here, but previously the speedo went to about 45 degrees over, and I feel like we're going so much faster already. We're gonna stay in 4th gear. I switched down to 3rd last time, but I think we have the power now to push through 4th gear. Getting through 5th gear might be a little bit of a challenge. We're just gonna take this one up. I think... No, you know what? We might be matching speed, even with the extra torque. Yeah, I think we're only going like a smidgen bit faster. But will that extra weight hurt us? Oh, you know what? Seemingly not. That was actually quite smooth in there. Mid-corner is okay. I can't stay in gear as long as I'd like, though. That is an actual racing problem. That's part of the reason, well, one of many reasons as to why they like higher RPMs compared to lower RPMs for race cars. Oh, now we're coming up to Puon. Brake nice and early so we don't understeer completely wide. We're still not having a great time. Power out with that monstrous amount of torque. Then coming up to these corners here. Little bit of frame droppage. Oh dear. Had to lift a little bit there because we just weren't getting the turning we want. And then a little bit of extra lift off oversteer than what you'd normally expect. And then exiting this complex. I don't think we're gonna do quite so well here going through what I believe is called Blanchimont. Lifted a little bit of brake. Oh, I don't want to turn too much because I will oversteer. Oh, a bit of a tanky, but we held it. And then, oh, that's not good. Oh, our braking distance is a lot longer than what I would have liked now. But that's fine, we're still basically taking the shape of the corner there and then power it out. Oh, and our time is actually pretty comparable. That's 2 seconds slow, but I did stuff up that last complex pretty darn bad. So you know what? I'm not gonna poo-poo this too much. I think that the V8 kinda has a bit of a leg to stand on. But so far we've only been using the 4.5 litre. We can go much bigger. At nearly double the size, we can go to 6.9 litres. And instantly we've nearly got 100 more horsepower. I think I want to go a naturally aspirated engine for this. So no supercharger, but we are going to make it a race intake. And then for the performance, that's going to be like a stage 3 performance. Nearly 600 horsepower, and I think we want to go race oil pan. I was seeing that pop up a few times, and 100 kilowatt shot sounds good to me. Nice. The thing bucks. It bucks really hard under Nitrous. Oh my god, this is going to be up in the repository. You can try it out yourself. Oh, it's so hard to drive. No, okay, we've gone again. Just lunacy. Oh my god, it kicks out. Damn it. Nitrous. Oh my god, no. God, come on. Oh, Jesus. Far out. No, that was the smallest little bit of throttle. It just went on its own. Really? All I did was consider changing gears. Sure. Oh my god, the power kick on is abysmal. That's fine. We're just gonna walk her across the line. Turn and across the... Oh, well, it didn't end the timer, but it was basically a 4:55. Oh my god, this thing sucked so bad. So, who did it better? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say probably the Americans. That little bit of extra weight, even if it was cast iron, I mean, it's not as good for handling. The power is there, but the reliability is also there. Now, if we were gonna do a really big 6.9 liter V8, immediately the handling suffers something chronic. And if you add too much power along with that, it becomes just the worst thing in the world. I swear to God, that was abysmal. But you know what's also the worst thing in the world? Well, actually, hold on, no, the other way around. The best thing in the world is my channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. You make these like silly endeavors more affordable to live life. For the rest of you though, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye. Jesus. Primitive. Oh dear. We've had it coming together.